What's up, guys? Coming to you today with a full slate of MLB action on Friday, September 19th. We're going to give out plays on every MLB game on the slate. I'll give you my favorite underdog pick of the day and my massive lock, my pick that regardless of price, I think has the best chance of cashing today. Slam that like button and subscribe to the channel to make sure you keep seeing these videos every single day, and let us know what you're thinking in the comments. I personally read and answer every comment I get. Check the pinned comment throughout the day to see our favorite picks, and you should definitely check back a couple of times throughout the day to see if there are any changes with injury news coming out and starters being confirmed. Yesterday, guys, was a pretty rough Thursday overall. Thursday Night Football did not go exactly the way we thought. The Bills did win, but taking the minus 12 felt a little bit expensive. Turns out that was correct. They do win the game 31-21 eventually, but a pretty dumb roughing the kicker penalty and a dumb interception there by Tua is what gave the Bills the win. Otherwise, this could have been a pretty interesting game. We also had Josh Allen to score a touchdown in this one. He tossed a couple touchdowns, but did not run any in, so we do take the loss on that player prop as well. On the MLB side, Toronto at minus 125 did not work out. A very annoying 4-0 loss behind a mediocre start there from Bassett. The Blue Jays only managed 4 hits in the whole game, getting stuffed by Baz and that Rays bullpen. We did catch the Reds at minus 120, a dazzling 1-0 win behind a complete game 1-hitter there from Hunter Green. Absolutely dominant stuff in that game from him. Despite the Reds giving up an error, he was able to carry them to the win. So an excellent game there. We did break the Padres at plus 110, an underdog play that I liked an awful lot. An annoying 6-1 loss from them. This is why the Padres aren't a team I'm taking seriously at all in the playoffs, because their offense is terrible. Their starting pitching isn't all that much better. Tong had his best start of his career so far there for the Mets, and yeah, we end up on the wrong end of that one. We did cash our lock of the day. We had the Brewers at minus 190. Nice to have that one come through as usual. A 5-2 win there for Milwaukee. They put up 3 runs against the terrible Angels bullpen. That definitely helped. Quinn Priester continues to be an absolute monster there, and the Milwaukee bullpen held up really, really well in the win. So a 2-4 day, obviously not what we're looking for, guys. Let's see if we can find a bounce back here on Friday before we dive into some college football action there on Saturday. We've got a big slate of MLB to cover, so let's dive in right away. We're going to be looking at the Atlanta Braves going on the road to take on the Detroit Tigers. The Braves come into this game continuing to play some of their best ball of the season. They just swept the Nationals in a 4-game series there, and none of those games were particularly close. They've won 5 in a row, and they'll hand the ball in this one to Bryce Elder. He's 7-10 on the season, a 5.56 ERA. This young 26-year-old had been throwing the ball great. He was having his best starts of the season until the last time he was on the mound back on the 13th. He took on the Astros and got absolutely obliterated. So we'll see if he's got a bounce back in him here. He's going up against a Tigers team that doesn't exactly come into this one swinging the hottest bats per se. He hasn't faced Detroit yet this year, so we'll see how that goes. The Braves bullpen has not been a problem. Well, at times this year, I would say it hasn't been a problem. Down the stretch, it has not been great. A 4.24 bullpen ERA. Definitely a big problem there. The offense, they've been hitting the ball great. 9, 5, 6, 11, 8, 2, 3, and 2 over their last few. The last 5 games, they've been hitting the cover off the ball. They're 14th in the majors in runs scored. They're 17th in batting average. Their season-long numbers don't look great, but they're hitting the ball pretty well at the moment. So we'll see what they do here against the Tigers, who have to be pretty worried. Skubal had a pretty good outing there after that injury scare, so that's a good sign. But they lost that game 3-1. They're only 3.5 games up now in Cleveland. They are going to, I don't know, they got to figure something else, guys. They've lost 6 out of 7. They're going to hand the ball in this one to Charlie Morton. Uncle Charlie's 9-10 on the year, a 5.56 ERA. His last start, he was okay against the Marlins. 4 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs. Is not great. He also walked 4 in that outing, and he's been walking a lot of hitters over his last few starts. We'll see which version of Uncle Charlie we get here, but it's been pretty rough down the stretch. In terms of history against Atlanta this year, he did have a good start against them back on the 4th of July, but it's been a minute. We'll see what he looks like in this one. The bullpen for Detroit's been a problem. That's for sure a true statement. They're sporting a 4.09 bullpen ERA. That has not been helping, but even worse has been the lack of offense. They've scored 1-0-5. 2, 4, and 2 over their last few games. They're 9th in the majors in runs scored. They are 15th in batting average, 15th in on-base percentage, but come into this game swinging some ice cold bats. So, looking at the numbers for this game, the Braves are plus 100, the Tigers are minus 120, a total of 9 in this one. Atlanta's 33-44 on the road, 37-34 and 6 to the over on the road. Detroit's 46-32 at home, 39-34 and 5 to the over at home. I'm not going to take over 9, although you could maybe convince me that it's not the worst idea in the world. I will definitely be leaning towards the Braves here, though, at plus 100. I think it's a pretty reasonable value. The Tigers are struggling. The Braves are playing their best ball of the year. Why would I, and have the better starter on the mound in this one? Probably. So why would I not back the Atlanta Braves? Next up, guys, we're looking at the Chicago Cubs heading to Cincinnati to take on the Reds. The Reds got the win for us yesterday, so slam that thumbs up button if you enjoyed Green's one-hitter. The Cubs, they are, fresh off that loss. They're 6 games back in Milwaukee in the NL Central race, but they're looking great there in the wild card hunt, so I don't think they're too worried about anything there. They're going to hand the ball in this one to Shota Imanaga. He's 9-7 on the year, a 3.29 ERA. His last 4 starts, though, have been pretty similar. He's gone 5 to 7 innings in all of those outings, giving up quite a few hits, at least one, oftentimes 2 home runs. Just hasn't been the sharpest. The Cubs are 2-2 over those starts, so we'll see what Imanaga can do on the mound in this one. He really hasn't been that impressive lately. He did have a great start against the Reds back on, August 5th, I believe. He was okay. I mean, he was good. 6 1/3 innings, 3 hits, 1 run is definitely good. But the Cubs managed to lose that game 5-1. Now, the bullpen is what let him down in that game. Usually, the Cubs bullpen's pretty decent. It's not a dominant force necessarily. A 3.74 bullpen ERA isn't incredible, but it's generally good enough to get the job done. The offense, though, while they did look, I guess, okay there at the Pirates, got up to about as bad of a start as you can get off to in this series. And down the stretch this year, it hasn't been great. They're tied for 6th in the majors in runs scored this season, but they have not been swinging the bats extremely well down the stretch. Just not living up to that, top 5, top 8 kind of offensive production that they had early in the season. So we'll see what they can do here in Cincinnati. The Reds at 77 and 76 on the year, trying to keep their heads above water, trying to stay in the hunt there in the wild card race. They're only 2 games back of the Mets in the National League, so they're definitely drawing live. They're going to hand the ball in this one to Nick Lodolo, who's 8-8 on the year, a 3.30 ERA. His last start, he got shelled by the Athletics. Start before that, he was lights out against the Padres. The last time he faced the Cubs, he only went 1 2/3 innings to start that game. I can't remember what the problem was in that one, but he didn't give up a hit or a run, and the Reds won that game 3-2. So that's honestly not terrible history there. He faced the Cubs twice back in May, had 1 decent and 1 premium start, so I don't hate this spot at all for Lodolo. The Reds bullpen, while not as good as the Cubs bullpen, is not terrible. It definitely has shown potential to be elite this season, but has also had some rough stretches. So not my favorite bullpen in the world. The offense only coming up with 1 run there in game 1 of this series doesn't exactly fill me with optimism. They scored 1, 6, 0, 11, 4, and 5 over their last few games. Not the most reliable offense. They're 13th in runs scored. They're 16th in batting average, but overall, we've seen them do some good stuff this year. So looking at the numbers, the Cubs are -120. The Reds are +105. A total of 8.5 in this game. The Cubs are 42 and 35 on the road, 37, 35, and 5 to the under on the road. The Reds are 40 and 33 at home. They're 41, 25, and 7 to the under at home. With these two guys on the mound, I do think under 8.5 is a very reasonable play in this game. Slightly better than that, though, I do like the Reds at +105. With Lodolo on the mound with some good history here, I like that. Imanaga on the mound for the Cubs has not been looking great recently, so I do think the Reds are showing some value in this game. Next on the docket, we've got the Sacramento Athletics heading to Pittsburgh to take on the Pirates. The Athletics just managed to win 2 out of 3 there at Fenway at 72 and 81 on the year. They're not going to be making the playoffs or anything like that, but it's been impressive to see this team hold things together through a very turbulent season. They're going to hand the ball in this one to Luis Severino. He's 6-11 on the year, a 4.82 ERA. Clearly not having the best time pitching for the Athletics. Really struggled his last couple times on the mound, having a rough outing there against the Reds and not a great outing against the Angels. We'll see what he can do in this matchup against the Pirates. Obviously not the scariest team in the world. He hasn't faced them this year, but not expecting miracles from Luis Severino, although, the guy does have his moments. The Athletics bullpen's been one of the worst bullpens in the majors this year. It has been showing signs of improvement here as the year winds down, so that's something to at least take into consideration. Offensively, the Athletics are a very solid team. They scored 5, 4, 2, 7, 11, and 3 over their last few games. Nick Kurtz, a monster. Jacob Wilson, very solid. Soderson's having a good year. They're 12th in runs scored, but 4th in batting average and 3rd in slugging percentage. This team is no joke at the plate. So we'll see what they do here against the Pirates, who are a team that is a joke at the plate. Pittsburgh's lost 4 in a row and has been really, really bad here down the stretch. They're going to hand the ball to Mitch Keller. He's 6 and 14 on the year, a 4.13 ERA. His last few starts have looked okay. A good outing against Washington, an impressive outing against the Brewers. Gave up 4 unearned runs against the Red Sox. And keep in mind, all of those games were in losses for the Pirates, who just, have a really hard time doing anything positive this season. He hasn't faced the Athletics this year, but I'm not really holding out for anything amazing here for Mitch Keller or the Pirates bullpen. A 4.01 bullpen ERA is not great. Offensively, they've been bad too. 4, 1, 0, 3, 5, 5, and 2 over their last few is honestly kind of hot hitting for a team that's last in the majors in runs scored and last in slugging percentage. So looking at the numbers here, I'm a little bit shocked to see them listed as a flip. Both teams are listed at -110. We've got a total of 8.5 in this game. The Athletics are a 500 team on the road, 36, 35, and 7 to the over on the road. The Pirates are 42 and 36 at home, 41, 35, and 2 to the under at home. I would be much happier to back the Athletics here than the Pirates, that is for sure. Do I trust Severino on the mound enough to put this in the pinned comment? I'm going to go with no, but I do think the Athletics have some value in this game. Hey guys, hopping here with a quick shout out to the sponsor today in every day's video, and that is stumpthespread.com. Click the link in the description to go over there and see the top confidence picks from our entire team of experienced cappers. Right now, our premium members are getting daily MLB, UFC, NFL, and college football picks. NHL, hockey is right around the corner too, so you want to get in on that. I think we're running a sale right now on NHL premium picks. Definitely want to check that out. Major League Baseball has had a great 2025 season. NFL is off to a reasonable start to the year. College football is heating up a very solid week last week, so a lot of good reasons to get over there to stumpthespread.com. You want to get over there regardless, even if you're not looking to sign up for a premium membership, guys. Get over there and check out the free picks. There's always free picks posted over there every single day, not like what's in the videos, definitely other stuff over there in the free section. You also want to go over there and use that free to use bet size calculator to keep you from busting your bankroll, and that's where you go to get on our free email newsletter. It's a great resource every single day, straight to your inbox, guys. At least one, oftentimes two free picks. Parlays are included in those emails, updates on our results, information on niche sports betting like golf, NASCAR, WNBA is often covered. And WNBA is a sport that's probably not going to be covered for free next year. That's probably going in the premium section. So you definitely want to get over there and check that out. And also, that's where you'll find our premium top confidence picks, guys. We've got a team of experts over there covering every single one of the major sports. We've got a ton of experience on our side, over a decade each for those guys, and they're putting in a crazy amount of work. They use some very sophisticated tools and algorithms to make their predictions. Yesterday on the premium side was a little bit of a step back. We did cash our biggest play of the day. That was the Brewers as a 2-unit play, but the Royals couldn't come through as a small play. Toronto as a 1-unit play, they had a bad day, and our one very small unit play there on a prop on Thursday Night Football didn't really work out. Thursday night was a bit of a rough night in general, just not showing a ton of value there on the football game. That's a little bit annoying, but overall not a disaster day, but not great. Definitely not as good as the 17th where we cashed 3 out of 4. That was a nice day. Back on the 15th it was a 3-0 day. There's definitely plenty of good stuff cooking over there in the premium section, and tons and tons of NCAA football picks here for Saturday are in the premium section already. Lots of NFL picks starting to pour in, so you definitely want to get over there to stumpthespread.com and check all of that out. Also, guys, if you're a huge fan of what you're seeing from us here every single day, you can sign up for a YouTube channel membership. YouTube channel members are eligible for our members-only giveaways. We'll be doing another giveaway here on the 22nd for one free Stump the Spread hoodie mailed straight to your mailbox. Channel members also get early access to all of our videos, which can be a pretty big deal. Some of our NFL and NCAA football videos get posted quite a bit early and might help you take advantage of some early lines. You also get your name on screen in every single video. So, guys, if you're interested in becoming a YouTube channel member, you just click that little join button right below the video and you can get in on the action. But guys, we've got a huge slate still to cover here on a very busy Friday, so we're gonna go ahead and dive back in. Next up, we're gonna be looking at the New York Yankees heading to Baltimore to take on the Orioles. The Yankees come into this game winners of 3 in a row, and they definitely need it. Very good stuff there. Max Fried throwing the ball really well. They're going to hand the ball in this one to Will Warren, hoping he can help them cut the gap there between them and Toronto. They're still 3 games back of Toronto. Will Warren is 8-7 on the year, a 4.44 ERA. Thanks in some part to getting destroyed by the Red Sox his last time on the mound. Now, he was coming off decent starts against Detroit and Houston coming into that game, but then got obliterated by the Red Sox, a team that he's really struggled against this season. We'll see what he can do here against the Orioles. He hasn't faced them since back in April. We're not really going to take that into consideration too much, but he did get shelled in that outing, so something to maybe keep far in the back of our minds. The Yankees bullpen, pretty bad. Definitely worse than I would have expected. A 4.56 bullpen ERA. Yikes. The offense has been carrying them, though. Over their last 3 games, they've scored 7, 10, and 10. Pretty good stuff. Doesn't get a whole lot better than that. So we'll see if they can keep it rolling. They are first in the majors in runs scored and first in slugging percentage. So definitely not the kind of team you can mess around with. They've got a very solid lineup. They're going to be taking on the Orioles here, who did just sweep the White Sox, but then struggled in game 1 here against the Yankees. They're going to be hitting the ball to their ace, Trevor Rogers, who's 8-2 on the year, a 1.43 ERA, coming off a great start there against Toronto. 5 innings, 3 hits, 1 unearned run allowed. He did walk 4 in that game, but also struck out 6. It was a 6-1 loss there for the Orioles, but he threw the ball really well, and that's been a theme of his entire season, guys. He's been very good. It'll be his first time taking on the Yankees. He does get to do it at home, though, at Camden Yards, so that's got to feel pretty good. The Orioles bullpen backing up Rogers has been terrible. They're not a good bullpen at all, so that's a problem. The offense has shown some flashes every once in a while, but is taking a big step back from last season. They scored 0-3-8, 4-2, and 4 over their last few games. They're 23rd in the majors in runs scored. They are 22nd in on-base percentage. I don't have a lot of great stuff to say about the Orioles at the plate. So looking at the numbers for this game, the Yankees are minus 120, the Orioles are plus 100. We have a total of 9 in this game. The Yankees are 41 and 36 on the road, 40, 33, and 4 to the over on the road. The Orioles are 36 and 38 at home, 39, 33, and 2 to the under at home. I actually think this is a very good spot to back under 9. I don't think we're going to see a crazy amount of offense here from the Yankees. I think we're going to see a very good start there from Trevor Rogers. And that's part of the reason why I do think the Orioles at plus 100 are also a pretty solid play in this spot. Which do I like better? Probably a slight lean towards that under, but I don't know if anything from this one's going to make the pinned comment. We're going to have to wait and see. Next up, we're looking at the Washington Nationals. They're heading to New York to take on the Mets. The Nationals at 62 and 91 didn't have a great year. They just got swept in a 4-game series against Atlanta. Now they got headed to New York to take on the Mets. They'll give the start in this one to Andrew Alvarez. He's 1-0 on the year, a 1.15 ERA. He's had 3 outings so far this year, and they've all looked very, very good. Dominant stuff against the Marlins, very good, well, okay stuff against the Cubs, and then a great 6 innings, 3 hits, no runs allowed there against the Pirates. Will this young 26-year-old be able to keep this rolling? I would say it's not impossible here, but he is going up against the Mets, so we'll see how it goes. The Nationals' bullpen's been the worst bullpen in the majors this year, so that's a pretty big concern. And the offense, not exactly killing it. They've scored 4, 0, 3, 3, 4, 1, and 6 over their last few games. They've fallen off considerably. They're looking like a bottom 4, bottom 5 offense here at at this point in the year. So we'll see what they can do here on the road against the Mets, who definitely need every win they can come up with. They've fallen out of contention there in the NL East by a long shot. They're going to have to hold on to that final play-in or that final wild card spot in the National League. They're 2 games up on the Reds and 2 games up on the Diamondbacks. They need every single one of these wins. They're going to hand the ball in this one to Brandon Sproat. He comes into this game 0-1 on the year, a 2.25 ERA. This young 25-year-old just shut out the Rangers over 6 innings, but unfortunately for him, we see the Mets eventually take the 3-2 loss. He's thrown the ball really well in 2 starts. We'll see what he can do going out there in this one. The bullpen for the Mets this season hasn't been great, a 4.05 bullpen ERA. It's taken some big steps backwards recently. Now, getting that 6-1 win against the Padres their last time was definitely helpful. The offense is maybe figuring it out. I mean, they've scored 6, 4, 8, 5, 2, 3, and 4 over their last few games. They're currently 11th in the majors in runs scored, 7th in slugging percentage, but 14th in batting average. So we'll see what they come up with in this one. The odds makers love the Mets here. They're minus 200. The Nationals are plus 170. A total of 8.5 in this game. The Nationals are 31 and 44 on the road, 39, 31, and 5 to the over on the road. The Mets are 47 and 30 at home, 38, 36, and 3 to the over at home. With 2 young guys on the mound that are throwing the ball this well, I don't necessarily hate no run first inning in this spot. I think that could be live. I also think the under could be live in this game, but I'm not in love with those. I will side just slightly with the Mets here, but this is mostly based on bullpen and a little bit on offense. I don't have a huge lean in this game, and I'm not showing tons of value. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Boston Red Sox headed to Tampa Bay to take on the Rays. The Red Sox at 83 and 70 on the year. It's been a little bit rough. They're now 6 games back in the AL East. They're currently, only a game and a half up on the Guardians for the last wild card spot in the American League. So they really need a good start in this one from Garrett Crochet. He's 16 and 5 on the year, a 2.63 ERA, coming off a bit of a weird outing there against the Yankees. We did see the Red Sox win that game 6-4, and he struck out 12, but gave up 5 hits and 3 earned runs, including a couple homers in that game. Not the norm for what you see from Garrett Crochet. So we'll see what he does in this one. Obviously going up against the Tampa Bay Rays. I doubt that's a team that he's terribly scared of. The last time he faced them, he pitched a complete game 3-hitter with 9 strikeouts, 0 walks, and we saw the Red Sox win 1-0. So I'm expecting pretty good stuff from Crochet in this outing. The Red Sox in general, their bullpen has been fantastic. That hasn't been a problem. The offense has been a little bit hit or miss. No pun intended. They've scored 3-5-1, 6-3-1, 4, 6, and 7 over their last few games. They're 8th in runs scored. They're 6th in batting average. We'll see if they're able to pull this thing together against the Rays, who come into this game winners of 2 in a row. They're 3 games below 500, so we're going to have to go on a crazy run here to end the season if they want to make the playoffs. They're going to hand the ball to Drew Rasmussen, who's 10 and 5 on the year, a 2.74 ERA. My red-bearded brother had a little bit of a rough outing against the Cubs his last time on the mound. 5 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, but has been throwing the ball well, kind of generally recently. We'll see what he does in this matchup against the Red Sox, a team that he only lasted 2 innings against back in July. So We'll see how this one goes. I'm a little bit worried about Rasmussen in this specific matchup. The Rays bullpen, a 3.64 bullpen ERA is not a big concern. My big concern for this team is their offense and if they're going to be able to get anything off of Crochet. Their last few games, they've scored 4, 2, 5, 1, 3, and 5 over there. It's just not looking great. They're maybe MLB average. I mean, they're 15th in runs scored, 9th in batting average, but 20th in on-base percentage. Just not a lot of great stuff to say about this offense. So, looking at the numbers for this game, the Red Sox are minus 130. The Rays are plus 110. We've got a total of 7 out there. Boston's 37 and 38 on the road, 39, 35, and 1 to the over on the road. Tampa Bay's 40 and 38 at home, 41, 33, and 4 to the under at home. I'm going to be leaning towards the Red Sox here in a pretty significant way. We're getting Crochet at minus 130. I'm not about to pass that up. I know Rasmussen can be good, but I don't know if I love him in this matchup, and I think Boston, in desperation mode, is going to get this win. Next up, guys, we're looking at the San Diego Padres heading to Chicago to take on the White Sox. The Padres let us down big time yesterday, losing 6-1. Everybody write something mean in the comments about the Padres right now if you're listening to this, because I was pretty tilted by that very, very weak performance. They're now 2.5 games back of the Dodgers there in the National League West. We'll see how things go, but this Padres team is not one that I'm scared of once playoff time rolls around. They're going to hand the ball in this one to Dylan Cease. He's 8-11 on the year, a 4.59 ERA, coming off back-to-back excellent starts. But those starts were against the Colorado Rockies, so let's take those with a big old grain of salt. We'll see what he does here against the White Sox. Not like they're exactly a powerhouse kind of team, and he hasn't faced them this year, but Dylan Cease has not exactly had a banner season. Like the last time he faced a real MLB team, he gave up 5 hits on 4 innings and 2 earned runs and a 4-3 loss there against the Baltimore Orioles. So we'll see what he can do. Obviously, the Padres bullpen's elite. Congrats on that. That's been nice, but their offense is abysmal. They're 22nd in runs scored. They're 22nd in slugging percentage. They've scored 1-7-3, 9-11, and 2 over that span. That 9-run game and that 11-run game were both against the Colorado Rockies, so you're not getting a whole lot of credit for that from me. The White Sox come into this game floundering. Again, they've lost 6 in a row, getting swept by Cleveland and swept by Baltimore. They're going to try to bounce back in this one, handing the ball to Davis Martin, who's 6-10 on the season, a 4.01 ERA. His last start, 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs against Cleveland. Not a bad outing at all. Now, the White Sox did lose that game 3-1, so we'll see, if he can get a little bit more run support here, but he's been throwing the ball pretty well. He did struggle against the Yankees, but other than that, he's looked really, really good. I don't know if he's fit. No, he has not faced the Padres yet this season. So we'll see what he looks like in this matchup, but against such a terrible offensive team, I'm expecting a good day from him. I'm not expecting anything terrible from the bullpen here, at least not going up against the Padres. The offense has been abysmal, 1-7-1, 2-1, and 0 over this losing streak. They're 26th in runs scored. They are 27th in batting average. Not a lot of great stuff to say about the White Sox at the plate. But looking at the numbers for this game, the Padres are minus 165. The White Sox are plus 140. We've got a total of 8 in this game. The Padres are 36 and 42 on the road, 41, 35, and 2 to the under on the road. The White Sox are 32 and 46 at home, 41, 35, and 5 to the over at home. I mean, I'll take the White Sox at plus 140 here. I don't love this spot necessarily. Obviously, the Padres are in a bounce back situation, but I think the White Sox are going to snap the streak at some point. Might as well be game 1 here playing at home. Next on the docket, we're looking at the Toronto Blue Jays heading to Kansas City to take on the Royals. The Blue Jays just split a 4-game series there with Tampa Bay. Not great. They are still 3 games up on the Yankees, though, and they're going to hand the ball in this one to Max Scherzer, who's 5-3 on the season, a 4.31 ERA. Coming off a decent start against Baltimore, 5 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs allowed, and a 5-4 win. We'll see what he can do here against the Royals. Obviously not the scariest team you can possibly face. The last time he faced Kansas City was back on August 2nd. 6 innings, 5 hits, 1 run allowed, and a 4-2 win. So I'm generally expecting good stuff from Scherzer, at least in this game. The bullpen for Toronto's been getting a little bit better. A 3.97 bullpen ERA is respectable. The offense, though, is drying up a little bit. 0-1-6, 2-11, and 5 over their last few. Not amazing. They're still 4th in the majors in runs scored and 1st in batting average and on base percentage, but struggling to get consistent offensive production right now. So we'll see what they can do here in Kansas City. The Royals just lost 2 out of 3 against the Mariners. They're a game below 500, which currently puts them in terrible shape to make the playoffs. They're 7 games back in the American League wildcard race, looking like the Royals' season is going to end at the end of the regular season. Now, they're going to hand the ball in this one to Michael Lorenzen. He's 5-11 on the season, a 4.91 ERA, coming off a 1-inning appearance there out of the bullpen against the Mariners. He was lights out in that 1 inning. We'll see what he can do as a starter. He's been terrible as a starter this year. He's going up against the Toronto Blue Jays. Not exactly the easiest of spots. He hasn't faced them this year, but I'm expecting Lorenzen to have a pretty rough time. The bullpen for the Royals has been solid, a 3.66 bullpen ERA, so got to give you credit for that. But the offense has been so bad. 0-7-5, 10, 6, and 2 over their last few is pretty hot hitting for a team that's 28th in the majors in runs scored and 24th in on base percentage. So yeah, not a lot of great stuff to say about the Royals at the plate. And looking at the numbers, the Blue Jays are minus 135. The Royals are plus 115. We've got a total of 9 in this game. Toronto's a 500 road team. They're 39, 35, and 4 to the over on the road. The Royals are 41 and 36 at home, 47, 29, and 1 to the under at home. I'm not getting involved in the total in this game, although under 9 doesn't feel out of the question. I will certainly take the Blue Jays here at minus 135. You got Scherzer on the mound against Lorenzen. Lorenzen hasn't even been able to hold on to his rotation spot this season. Definitely give me Max Scherzer. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Miami Marlins heading to Texas to take on the Rangers. The Marlins at 73 and 80 on the year have been way better than I would have expected. They just swept the Rockies in a 3-game series, so well played there. They're going to hand the ball in this one to Jansen Junk, who's 6 and 3 on the season, a 4.48 ERA. His last start was against the Tigers. It was okay. 6 innings, 7 hits, 3 earned runs. Hasn't been amazing down the stretch, even when he's against some bad teams, like getting knocked around aggressively by the Nationals. Doesn't exactly help your case. Any history he has this season? No history against the Rangers. So we'll see what Junk can do out there. We'll see what the Marlins bullpen can do. It's been pretty bad. A 4.37 bullpen ERA does not get me going. The offense, on the other hand, has been going. 9, 8, and 6 over their last 3 games. That's all against the Colorado Rockies there at Coors Field, though. So let's not get too excited about a team that is 19th in slugging percentage and 16th in runs scored and is going to, not exactly have a great time at the plate against a good team. Now, we'll see what they do against the Rangers. The Rangers are 79 and 74 on the year. They've lost 4 straight, though, after that hot run. They're now 4 games back in the American League wildcard hunt. They're trying to make some noise there in the American League West, but they're 5 games back of the Astros and the Mariners. They're going to hand the ball in this one to Tyler Mayhill. He's coming off the 60-day IL. He's 6 and 3 on the year, a 2.34 ERA. His last start was back in June. We'll see what he can do. Obviously, he was dealing with some stuff there. He was having a good season, though, before he got hurt. So we'll see what he looks like coming back. The bullpen for the Rangers has been excellent this year. That hasn't been a big problem. The offense has been a problem at times and a problem recently. 2, 5, 3, 2, 3, and 8 over their last few games. They're 18th in runs scored, 25th in batting average, and 25th in slugging percentage. Not exactly an offensive powerhouse. Looking at the numbers for this one, the Marlins come into this game at plus 140. The Rangers are minus 160, a total of 8.5. The Marlins are 36 and 38 on the road, 38, 34, and 2 to the over on the road. The Rangers are 47 and 28 at home, 46, 28, and 1 to the under at home. That's an MLB best to the under. I won't be taking the under in this matchup, but I will take the Rangers at minus 160. I worry a little bit Mayhill, coming off the IL, but I think he's going to be fine. And the Marlins, not exactly a great team, and Junk is struggling right now, so definitely think the Rangers are the way to go. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Cleveland Guardians heading to Minnesota to take on the Twins. The Guardians stay red hot. They've won 7 straight games, just beating Scooball and the Tigers their last time out to complete that 3-game sweep. They are making some noise. They're 3.5 games back in the AL Central. They are also only a game and a half back of the Red Sox in the American League wildcard hunt. They'll hand the ball in this one to Parker Messick. He's 3-0 on the year. This young 24-year-old left-handed phenom, a 1.84 ERA, coming off a very good start against the White Sox his last time out. 6 innings, 7 hits, 1 earned run allowed, and a 3-1 win. I mean, the kid's looking great. There's really not much else you can say. He's had 5 starts. They've all looked really, really good. Congrats to him. Let's see if he can keep it rolling here against the Twins. The Cleveland bullpen's been excellent. That's not a problem for them. The offense, not putting up a ton of runs, but they're figuring it out. 3, 4, 7, 3, 3, and 4 over their last few. Jose Ramirez is hitting the ball well. They're 27th in runs scored, last in batting average, and 29th in on-base percentage. So not amazing season-long numbers at the plate. They're taking on a Twins team that is 66 and 86 on the year. Not anything left to play for. They just lost 2 out of 3 against the Yankees, and they'll hand the ball in this one to Pablo Lopez, who's 5 and 4 on the year, a 2.64 ERA. His last couple of starts are his first since coming back off the IL after missing like 3 months, and he looked pretty good against the Royals and pretty good against the Diamondbacks. We'll see what he looks like here against the Guardians. I'm not expecting a crazy amount of offense in this game. I don't think that's going to shock anyone. The last time he faced Cleveland was back in April, and he looked good in that outing, so we'll see how that goes. The Twins' bullpen, on the other hand, is terrible. That's a big problem for this team, a 4.68 bullpen ERA. Yikes. The offense did manage to hit the ball pretty well their last 3 games, 5, 9, and 7 respectively, but that has not been the norm for this team. They're 22nd in batting average, they're 19th in on-base percentage, and they're about to face a very scary young pitcher. So, looking at the numbers here, guys, the Guardians are underdogs. They're plus 105, the Twins are minus 120. We've got totals out there of 8 or 7.5. Cleveland's 40 and 37 on the road, 40, 32, and 5 to the under on the road. The Twins are 37 and 40 at home, 39, 35, and 3 to the over at home. I do think you could take under 8 in this game. I think that's pretty reasonable, but much better than that, guys. I'll take the Guardians, getting plus money as the hottest team in baseball. I think there's a great chance they win this game straight up. This has a great chance to be our dog of the day. Pablo Lopez might go out there and throw 6 solid innings, but then you've got 3 innings to score against that terrible, terrible Twins bullpen. Definitely give me the Guardians in this one. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Seattle Mariners heading to Houston to take on the Astros. The Mariners just won 2 out of 3 at Kansas City. They are currently tied with Houston for the top spot in the AL West. They've been playing great down the stretch. They might actually be the hottest team in baseball. It's close between them and Cleveland. They're hitting the ball in this one to Brian Wu, who's 14-7 on the year, a 3.02 ERA, coming off a very good start against the Angels. 6 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs allowed. He also struck out 13 in that game. He has been throwing the ball great. Now, this is obviously a huge game for them here going up against the Astros. This is a Houston team he struggled against back in late July. So we'll see if he can turn that trend around. He had a good start against them back in May, but did give up a lot of hits in that game, but managed to pitch out of trouble. So we'll see what Wu can do in this one. The Mariners bullpen's been pretty reliable this year, a 3.70 bullpen ERA. The offense, well, they've had their hot spells and their cold spells like everybody else. They scored 2, 5, and 12 runs there against the Royals. Over the course of the year, they're 10th in runs scored. They are 10th in slugging percentage. You got Cal Raleigh, guys, 56 home runs. That is crazy, crazy impressive stuff. So we'll see what they can do here in Houston. The Astros just swept the Rangers. That was a very, very important series there. They've won 3 in a row, so congrats on that. They're going to hand the ball in this one to Hunter Brown. He's 12-7 on the year, a 2.27 ERA, coming off a very solid start against Atlanta, where he only gave up 2 runs over 6 2/3 innings. In terms of history this season against the Mariners, he faced them back in late July and didn't look great. It was an 11-3 win there for Houston, but he went 4 innings, gave up 6 hits, and 3 earned runs over that span. So not exactly amazing stuff there. We'll see which version of Hunter Brown we get in this game. We'll see what the Astros bullpen can do. A 3.74 bullpen ERA, definitely not terrible. The offense isn't anything to write home about, though. 5, 6, 6, 3, 6, and 11 over their last few is very hot hitting for a team that's 21st this season in runs scored and 15th in slugging percentage. So looking at the numbers here, guys, the Mariners are -110. The Astros are -118. We got a 7.5 in this game as a total. The Mariners 35-41 on the road. 44-31-1 to the over on the road. Houston 46-32 at home, 41-34-3 to the under at home. I'm going to lean just a bit towards the Mariners in this one at -110. I like Wu on the mound a good amount. Hunter Brown, though, is a monster. I think we're going to see a playoff atmosphere in this game, so definitely under 7.5 is live as well, but nothing from this game is going in the pinned comment. I don't see a huge edge here either way. Very exciting to see who's going to come out on top, though. Rolling right along here, guys, we got the Los Angeles Angels heading to Colorado to take on the Rockies. The Angels have lost their last 7 games in a row. Not great. They have been slightly better this year than I thought they would, but they are falling apart down the stretch. Playing the ball in this one to Mitch Ferris. He's 1-1 on the year, a 4.80 ERA. He's made 3 starts this season. The first 2 are pretty good there, doing well against the Royals and the Athletics, but then struggled against the Mariners his last time out. So we'll see what he can do against the Rockies. You would think if he's going to have success, he'd have success against that group. The bullpen for the Angels has been atrocious this season, a 4.88 bullpen ERA, and the offense has been slumping aggressively. They scored 2-2-2, 2-3-1 over their last few games. Pretty atrocious stuff. They're 29th in batting average and 28th in on-base percentage. So we'll see what they can do against the Rockies, who are 41-112 this year. They've lost 5 in a row, just got swept by the Marlins. Leading the ball in this one to Bradley Blaylock, who's 1-5 on the year, a 9.00 ERA. His last 4 starts, he's given up 5, 7, 5, and 7 earned runs. And shocker of the year, guys, the Rockies are 0-4 over those starts. So we'll see what he can do here against the Angels. Not a team I'm expecting him to do amazing against, but I'm not expecting him to do terrible, because who could do terrible against the Angels? The Rockies bullpen's the second worst bullpen in the majors. That's pretty embarrassing stuff to see once again this year. And the offense, 7, 4, 5, 6, 3, and 4 over their last few games, throwing the ball relatively well for a team that's 29th in the majors in runs scored. So, looking at the numbers for this game, the Angels are -125, the Rockies are +105. We've got a total of 12 in this game. The Angels are 32-45 on the road, 41-34-2 to the over on the road. The Rockies are 23-54 at home. That's an MLB worst home mark, and basically a 500 over/under team at home. I'm going to lean towards the Angels in this one at -125. Anybody playing the Rockies at -125, you could make the case. I think Mitch Ferris is actually a pretty reasonable starter. I think he's going to bounce back from a rough outing against the Mariners to dominate the Rockies, and that'll be enough for the Angels to get the win. Next up, guys, we're looking at an NL Central showdown between the Brewers and the Cardinals. Milwaukee comes into this game winners of 3 in a row. They've got a 6-game lead. They're over the Cubs in the NL Central. They're going to hand the ball in this one to Jacob Misiorowski. He's 5-2 on the year, a 4.35 ERA. After getting off to such an insane start to his season, things have cooled off a little bit. He did have a very good start against the Pirates. His last outing was against the Cardinals. It wasn't pretty, though. 5 innings, 7 hits, 4 earned runs allowed. Gave him a couple home runs in that game. Now, we did see the Brewers eventually win 9-8 in extras, but that was not Mizorowski's fault. So we'll see if this one goes a little bit better. The Brewers bullpen has been reasonable this year. A 3.70 bullpen ERA is nice. The offense did take advantage of the Angels there, 5, 9, and 9 over their last 3 games. They're second in the majors in runs scored, second in both batting average and on base percentage. So you're not going to hear me say a lot of bad stuff about the Brewers this year. So we'll see what they do here in St. Louis, taking on the Cardinals, who have lost 2 out of their last 3, struggling there against the Reds. Looks like the playoffs are a pipe dream here for St. Louis. They'll hand the ball to Sonny Gray, who's 13-8 on the year, a 4.43 ERA. His last start, 5 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs allowed against Milwaukee. So very good stuff there. This is actually a rematch of Mizorowski against Sonny Gray. We'll see what happens in this one. The Cardinals lost the last one in extras. It wasn't exactly Sonny Gray's fault. Now, the Cardinals bullpen's been good this year, a 3.71 bullpen ERA, but has had some bumps in the road recently. The offense, the bottom's fallen out of this thing, guys. They were 2-3-6, 3-8, and 2 over their last few. They're down to 18th in runs scored. They're 20th in batting average. Contreras is on the IL there with a shoulder strain. Just not a lot of good things happening to the Cardinals right now. So, looking at the numbers for this game, the Brewers are minus 120. The Cardinals are plus 100. A total of 7.5 in this one. The Brewers are 43-32 on the road. That's an MLB best road mark. 36-36 and 3 to the over-under on the road. The Cardinals are 42-36 at home. 38-36 and 4 to the over at home. This is a game where I think no run first inning could be live. I don't think that's terrible in this spot. In terms of a side, I'm just going to take the Brewers. They're the better team. I don't trust Sonny Gray that much, but this isn't a game where I think the side has much value. Rounding into the home stretch here, guys, we're looking at the Philadelphia Phillies heading to Arizona to take on the Diamondbacks. The Phillies just won 2 out of 3 against the Dodgers, so well played there. I don't think they're going to be too upset about how that went. They've got a massive lead in the NL East. They're going to hand the ball in this one to T1 Walker, who's 8-5 on the year, a 4.17 ERA. His last 3 outings, he struggled against the Royals, the Marlins, and the Brewers. Now, Philadelphia managed to win 2 out of 3 over that stretch, but it was not T1 Walker's fault necessarily. We'll see what he can do here against the Diamondbacks. Has he faced them this season? No, he has not apparently faced them at all this year. So we'll see how it goes. The Phillies bullpen isn't anything too special. It's not like a complete train wreck recently, maybe, but it's not very good. The offense, that's where this team is looking to make their money. They've scored 0-9-6, 3-8-8 over their last few games. They're 6th in runs scored, 3rd in batting average, and 5th in slugging percentage. So we'll see what they can do here against the Diamondbacks, who had won 4 in a row before losing the last game of that series against the Giants. They are only 2 games back here, I believe, in the wild card hunt in the National League. Crazy work there. They'll hand the ball this one to Ryan Nelson, who's 7-3 on the season, a 3.34 ERA. His last start, 6 innings, 4 hits, no runs allowed there against the Twins. Start for that was very good against Boston, very good against Milwaukee earlier. This dude's been throwing the ball really, really well. We'll see what he can do against the Phillies. Obviously, that's a bit of a tough task at times, but I do think he's up to the task. We'll see. The bullpen situation for the Diamondbacks is not good. That's been a problem all year long. That's not helped them. The offense, though, continues to roll. 1, 6, 8, 6, and 5 over their last few games. They're 4th in runs scored in the majors this year. They're 4th in slugging percentage. This is a team that can hit the ball. So, look at the numbers. The Phillies are plus 105. The Diamondbacks are minus 125. We've got a total of 9.5. The Phillies are 40-38 on the road. 44-28 and 6 to the under on the road. The Diamondbacks are 40-35 at home. 36-34 and 5 to the over at home. I will be leaning towards the Diamondbacks at home in this one at minus 125. These games mean an awful lot more to them than it would mean to the Phillies. T1 Walker's been terrible, so is that Phillies bullpen. I think this is an excellent spot to back the Diamondbacks. Last but not least, we're looking at the San Francisco Giants heading to LA to take on the Dodgers. The Giants and the Dodgers are actually playing right now with the Dodgers up 2-1 in the bottom of the 8th inning. We'll see how that one ends up. The Giants, they come into this game only 2.5 back in the National League wildcard hunt, so still very, very alive. Laying the ball in this one to Robbie Ray, who's 11-7 on the year, a 3.50 ERA. His last start, he struggled against the Dodgers, 4 innings, 6 hits, 5 earned runs allowed, and a 10-2 loss. Not exactly a great sign coming into this matchup. We'll see what he can do. He did have a good start against the Dodgers back in July, so at least he's got that to fall back on. The Giants' bullpen's been one of the best 2 or 3 bullpens in the majors this year. That's been a huge strength of this team, but the offense has been a pretty big weakness. They did score 5 runs in the last game there against Arizona in a 5-1 win, but not a team you can really trust to light up the scoreboard. They're 17th in runs scored. They're 26th in batting average and 24th in slugging percentage. Not exactly a roster loaded with it's just superstar hitters. So we'll see what they can do against the Dodgers. They are only 2.5 games up on the Padres. They, just got the big news that Kershaw's going to retire after this season. So, okay, cool. Let's see what you can do the rest of the year. He's getting the start in this game. He's 10-2 on the year, a 3.53 ERA. Struggled against the Giants his last time out. 3 innings, 5 hits, 4 earned runs, and a 13-7 win for the Dodgers, so we'll see what he does this time around, but hasn't been the sharpest recently. The Dodgers bullpen's a big problem for them this season. The offense has been great, but they've also had some massive ups and downs over the course of the year. They're third in runs scored and fifth in batting average. So, looking at the numbers for this game, the Giants are plus 140. The Dodgers are minus 170. We've got a total of 8.5 in the spot. The Giants are 38 and 39 on the road, 39, 32, and 6 to the over on the road. The Dodgers are 49 and 28 at home, 41, 32, and 4 to the over at home. With both teams showing big trends towards the over here, in this pitching matchup, I don't love it, but maybe take the over. I do think Kershaw could struggle in this game. He's not a guy that does well in like huge, well-built-up situations. He struggled against the Giants the last time he faced them. So, yeah, especially coming off this announcement, I could see him having a weird night. So, give me the Giants here at plus 140 as something of a small lean. Guys, that's all the games we have here for today. Hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Let me know in the comments any questions you have on today's slate. I'm more than happy to get back to you. Thank you to everyone for watching this video. You can click the link in the description to get over there to stumpthespread.com. Get on that free email list. Check out the free picks over there and definitely check out those red hot premium picks. You definitely want to get in on that before a huge Saturday and Sunday of football action gets going and lots of good MLB action every single day as well. Definitely want to get in the mix there. Guys, we'll be right back here tomorrow to cover a big chunk of the NCAA football slate, so definitely get in on that. We'll be right here. That's where you'll find us for more sports betting action.